to the best radio station on the planet. ZMR Radio.
The #1 internet radio station.
I'm at work right now and I'm listening to it.
#1.
I wake up with you guys, I spend my day with you guys, and I go to bed with you guys. You guys are the best.
The #1 internet radio station.
ZMR Radio.
Tube Layla, welcome to my Candid Wisdom. Tonight we're going to do it a little differently. We got a live show for you, and I have a guest here to talk with us about just the world today. There has been recently a glorification of promiscuity. And we kind of wondered, like, how did that come to be upon or among our people? Why is it a popular thing to be promiscuous? Well, hello, howdy, and how do you do? It is your cool Wisdom Simone, and this is my Candid Wisdom. Well, we do have a guest this evening. I would like to welcome to my Candid Wisdom, Mr. J. Rich.
Yo, appreciate you having me today.
I
Miss
appreciate
Wisdom
you
Simone.
I appreciate you being here to join me in this conversation and, dare I say, investigation as to why promiscuity is a big thing among, especially focusing on kind of our people. Within my Candid Wisdom, it's usually candid, but of course we present facts because we want to make sure that our opinions are actually supported. And in doing that, I did a little bit of research on promiscuity. Now, the research and promiscuity that I was able to find was on an overall scale. For the majority of this show, we will be focusing on the melanated community, but as far as the origin of it or how the possibility of why it's a thing upon the melanated community. But just overall, with what I found in all nationalities, it looks like when it comes to promiscuity, individuals' education is a factor in that. The more educated you are, the less promiscuous you are considered to be. And the average person actually has less than 10 partners within their lifetime. But there are still people that have more than 10 partners in their lifetime. And this is considered to be a risk among quote unquote experts. Promiscuity leads to all types of physical and emotional effects. The physical effect, of course, you put yourself at risk for contracting more STDs and things of that nature. And then from the emotional effect, we know that there are a lot of people that are promiscuous in the sense of it's kind of a drug for them. They just sleep with individuals, not necessarily for the need of having someone, but just more so for the need of pleasure to suppress whatever it is that they are dealing with that they don't necessarily want to face head on. So overall, promiscuity now, whereas in times past, I don't think it was like something that people was just like, hey, let's go be hoes. But as time progressed with media and promotion, the catalyst for this whole conversation, if I hadn't already mentioned it, we were having a conversation, Rich and I. And I was speaking of a young lady who y'all probably know who she is. Her name I will not speak because I do not want to promote her. But she recently had at least two interviews, maybe an interview and a post or something The first one, she was talking about what she did with semen, which was very disgusting and disturbing to me because she was in a room of other melanated women. And there was one Caucasian woman in that room. And what she said was she asked if these women consumed semen, as far as orally consumed semen. And the way she said it was offensive to them, but none of them were like, oh, that's not something that we would do. All of them were in agreement that they did it. They just didn't like the way that she said it. And the thing that I noticed, like I said, room full of melanated women, the one white girl sat quietly on the sofa and watched all of these broads act like idiots talking about the disgusting things that they did when it came to sexual nature. Now, this bothered me because I don't know if I feel safe to say that her target audience is going to be our daughters.
Mm-hmm.
And for the most part, depending on the mindset of your child, you can instill whatever you want to in your child. You can instill all the key tools of life that you feel that they need in them. But as children, we still, as we grow into adults, we still go through a phase of just trying to find exactly who we are, even if we seem secure and stable in a sense. So that really bothered me. So I was having that conversation with Rich. We were talking about this female and what she said, and he started to give me a male perspective. And so we figured, hey, let's talk to the people. Let's enrich the people. Let's see what we know about this promiscuity thing and how it has become, dare I say, somewhat of a plague amongst our people, kind of not necessarily valuing their bodies enough to preserve them in that sense. So
Mm-hmm.
what do you think, Rich, from a male perspective? What do you think about the whole promiscuity thing?
Um, or even before I get into that, I still want to I want to caveat up for what you were saying with that interview. Of course, we won't get that lady no promotions or anything, but yeah, I felt the interview was just very bad on as a quote unquote black race for the females, just giving them a bad name. And like you said, how the white woman was over there, she was just kind of just looking at them all crazy. But it's just funny how they'll always just push the like the most ratchet black females and they'll push them to the top. Anybody
Yes.
who's making positive stuff, like you see in LV, she dropped her stuff, or anybody who even makes something to that magnitude that'll be positive, uplifting so-called black woman that'll never get the light that she get or other female rappers, Meg Thee Stallion, Cardi B, all that. So it just seemed like that's all by design, of course. But from the conversation we were having before, I was saying from the male perspective, we were talking about why it's so popular, promiscuity and why it's pushed. And from what I was thinking from black men from back in the day, how they were breeders back then. So they were just made to just have just plenty of babies. They would have it with one woman, then with another woman. Never just really settled down with one family. And I kind of felt that was passed down in our genes and kind of in our DNA. So nowadays, it's kind of still the same thing. And like a lot of so-called black men just don't know why they run around and do it. And I'm just like, I'm thinking it dates from way back from slavery times. And I know you even did some research on it too, but you could talk about this, how the PTSD, you don't actually have to go through the event of PTSD. You know how soldiers will go through and have battle
Mm-hmm.
trauma, war, and they get PTSD as a result of coming straight out of war. But there's quote unquote scientific evidence that you can actually get PTSD from an event that you didn't have to go through. It could have been relatives, family, friends. And if you've heard of it and it's been told to you, they say it can be coded within your DNA and your genes, and as it's passed down, you'll be doing the same behavior or something of that nature, and you don't even know why, but it's just passed down in your genes. And now we see from the male perspective, uh, so whatever, I mean, for the bad reason that it is, we just got our men not stable in the home, going around just having babies with multiple women, and they just can't settle down for nothing, and they don't understand why. But
Yes. Yes.
yeah. But we'll let you get
Yes.
into that because I know you did. Yeah, I know you did a little bit of research on that, so
Yes,
we'll
I
go ahead and let you
did.
touch on that.
Yes, I did. And you hit on all the key points that I wanted to talk on. And you're right. What they call it's still called PTSD when it comes to now. Remember earlier I said we were talking about overall promiscuity. That was for all
Hmm.
nationalities here within the United States, of course. But now we're narrowing it down to melanated individuals because um I think I said it at the beginning of just the overall show. My goal is for as much as I'm able, spark thought to help produce a better future so that we can instill better not only for ourselves or in ourselves or think better within ourselves, but be able to pass that to our children so they don't have to go through some of the same hurdles and hurts and things that we go through. Now, in saying that, with the PTSD that's relative to the effects of slavery, I think PTSD regularly is what post traumatic stress disorder. With
Right.
this, it's actually post traumatic slavery disorder.
Hmm.
And what was found by, I believe her name is like Diane Yehuda. It's a lady that was born in Israel. She did like a whole study on it. And she found that it actually, trauma affects you on a cellular or genetic level. So it noticeably affects your genes. As you procreate and have children, this is now a part of their genetic code. I heard you say if you hear of it or they tell you of it, no one has to even tell you. Like you said, you will be doing things and feeling certain kind of ways or just not really able to understand yourself because you are dealing with the genetic trauma of your ancestors. And for most melanated people, we can't reach back too far for our ancestors. Like that's something that I think if we had the access that other nationalities do when it came to reaching into our past, seeing the people in our past, understanding who those people were. Some people in the current way that the world is set up, I think that the world is set up as I guess the best way I can say like a compactor. Like it seems like pressure daily just gets more and more and more. Of
Hmm.
course, there's space and there's recommend what we know and how what we understand. But just outside of that, just think of someone who doesn't have that. Think of you when you didn't have that. So you kind of feel like, what's my point? Like this, I know that's for me. I know I say this. I know I was not created to go work in corporate America and just do that over and over again. I call it the hamster wheel.
Hmm.
It's just that's not what we were created for. So if I could reach back at a time where this was not, and people were working for people in a communal situation where we actually helped one another and were instrumental and valuable to one another in that way, and it wasn't so much of a selfish situation, not necessarily intentionally, but selfish in the fact of like I have to survive, that still being, but just different. I think that would just empower us in a different way. So to
Yeah.
find out that you could, I wonder, maybe I'll do that another time. I wonder if just the way that trauma affects your genetics, I wonder if good affects your genetics too. And maybe we could hit on that another time. But yes, I think that would be valuable. But that is a thing. So, also in my research, what I didn't or wasn't aware of knowing, if I had heard of it, I didn't realize that there were actually plantations that were solely for breeding slaves.
Oh yeah, I have heard of that. Yeah, that's as of recently though. As of being in this way and finding out a lot of things. But back in the day, yeah, I didn't know that. But but you speak on
Yeah.
it. What did you find out?
So basically, it became a thing when the slave trade was abolished. Now,
Hmm.
even though the slave trade was abolished in 1808, before this, doing research for this episode, I was aware of a slave ship called the Clotilda. The
Hmm.
Clotilda is very interesting to me for one because I found out the way I found out about it. I watched, it was like a little ancestry.com has like the special on PBS where they go through different celebrities ancestry by their blood genetics, and they ended up finding that his family rooted back to this ship, and they actually had a picture of somebody there. And then fast forward later on, I was watching another documentary about Africa and slave ships and things of that nature. And the Clotilda came up again. And in this documentary, they were actually looking for the Clotilda because they were descendants of people that came off of that ship. And those people that came off of that ship actually started, I think it was called like Little Africa, but they had their own community and their own everything. And it was, they were just talking about how it was interesting living there. There were some people that wanted to find the ship. There were other people that just did not care. But that ship ended up here like between, I think it was like 59 and 1859, 1860. That ship got here, and that was the last one. There's no trace of it. They still, of course, like I said, trying to find it. But the slave trade abolished in 1808 as far as being able to go over there and get people. So the breeding farms became popular because you couldn't go get more people. Now, with the breeding farms too, the women outweighed the men. The ratio of women to men was 2-1. So I think fast forward today, something else we touched on in that conversation was as far as when we were younger, the thing from, you said the male perspective was more so like, and everybody know, like, get hoes. That's what you're supposed to do. If you ain't got a whole bunch of girlfriends, then you gay, or like it was shameful almost for some situations to be a virgin. When that's
Definitely
something
frowned
that's,
upon.
yes, it was like frowned upon, like you was green because you weren't getting none. Whereas with females, at least like I said earlier, with the lesser education or the poverty level affects that too. So the thing was, your value was in the fact that you could get somebody. And even when I got older, I had a conversation with somebody and they told me something that I really didn't think about. And somebody said it recently too. A guy can walk up to 10 females. He'll be lucky if one of the females say yeah to him. A chick can walk up to 10 guys, and if all 10 of them, it might be one of them that say no.
That's true.
So
Her chances are very much higher.
yes, it is a lot easier for a woman to go get a man than vice versa. So I considered with the whole genetic situation, and this was in the biggest farm was, I think it was Richmond, Virginia, and like the Maryland area, which is also interesting to me because that's daggum up north. And they were breeding all of these people. They ended up outnumbering, the slaves ended up outnumbering the people in that area. I hadn't checked the recent demographics in that area. I did look at Baltimore earlier. Baltimore, of course, everybody knows a bunch of black folks, or melanated folks. But that just was like really interesting to me, to find that out or to have that refreshed, however it happened, because I can see how that can carry down for that to be a value, a vain value. And then to look at, like you mentioned, Meg the Stallion. Somebody recently brought up a song that she wrote that outside of some language that she used, it actually was a decent song.
Oh, really?
But
No,
it
no
was,
raunchy lyrics?
nope, it wasn't no raunchy lyrics. She was just talking about like just people go through stuff, but she used the term bad bee, like bad bees go through stuff or whatever. But yeah, so those things are not promoted. Sex is, all kinds of sex is promoted and put in front of children now. So whereas when we was kids, we was talking about boys and girls, it was some homosexual stuff going on too. But now, I forgot what that term is called. There's an actual new reason to be a homosexual. Basically, it's given to you as an option. So now that's a direction, a new avenue of promiscuity. So
Wow. Yeah,
yeah.
the generation has definitely changed. And you know what I thought about too. I know you want to move on, but when you just talking about the breeding farms, I was just thinking how it's still continuing today. Just in the form of projects now, because now you kind of put all of us in a concentrated area, and you kind of got the women just breeding. You just like, hey, the more
Yeah.
kids you get,
Yeah.
Now you
Because
get all the money.
one dude to have for y'all got buildings. Don't y'all projects be like high rises and stuff,
Right,
right?
there'll be
Or
high
where you
rises
from?
up north, right?
Yeah. So niggas, the nigga knocked down a whole building. Like
Right,
I
exactly.
remember having a conversation with somebody. I can't remember who that was. I've had a few of these conversations along life, but they were talking about how females will say that all niggas ain't nothing, and all of them will be messing with the same nigga.
Exactly, right. And in the same breath, you be like,
And
how that work? How you gonna run them
yes,
down and still go mess with them? Like, you ain't
and
gonna
it's
make them
not
do no
even
better.
one. It's just like all of them have like the same pool.
Right,
They're
yeah.
all fishing in the same pool of piss poor. So they all think that all men are nothing. And then on top of that, in the whole breeding situation, of course, with slavery, that was another destruction of the Black family, because women were valued by the potential productivity of their children.
Right.
So they would like breed, like, so I like you that I'm born in the time that I'm born in, because it really made me consider, how would you be able to be saved in a situation like that? Like,
Yeah.
how would that work out? Because in a breeding farm, if I'm brought to me as a female, if somebody purchased me and sent me there, that means that rape is going to be an everyday, multiple times a day thing. I ain't married to none of y'all. So like that's, ooh.
Well, and the thing too is like you say, like how can they be saved? They're forced into adultery because they'll give them a
Yes.
husband, lawfully
Yes.
marry him, then get married to somebody else.
Yes.
So that's a
Yes.
crazy time to really
And
be
then
born
master
now.
gonna come at you too. Yes, master coming
Right,
at you
right.
too.
So
But then the original thing I was trying to get to, because I'm sorry, I got just that's like that's
yeah,
so
it's crazy to think about.
yeah,
It's
it's real
crazy.
crazy to think about. But they would all of these children ship off. So you baby just basically just a baby factory. So fast
hmm
forward to today, I personally know somebody, they got, I want to say they probably have at least 7 or 8 children. And those 7 or 8, maybe 2 of them may have the same father.
Mm.
And so it's like, what does that psyche in your kids? You already passing your genetic trauma down to the kids. Now
hmm
you're even further mutating it and making it even worse because of the conditions that you bring the kids up in. So it's like a whole, man, when I tell you the system is a whole trap, it's a whole trap. And it's trickled from the time that they got here, from the time
Right.
they got here.
It,
And
it
yeah,
really is.
yeah,
It-
it's crazy. It is very crazy.
and
Very
most of them
crazy.
children are not going to break that cycle. You know, it's kind of
No,
like it's a barack that a lot of us that came to the way, yeah, we broke it. But if you look at the average Black community, they're going to follow what they see. If they seen their dad drink, beat women, all that, 9 times out of 10 they're going to follow. It's very very few that are going to break it. And you know, of course, the whites know that. So you know, just new modern day slavery. They don't got to put their hands on us, the whip. They just put us in the system and let us self destruct now.
pretty
So
much. Yep,
the
that's
plan
it.
still work.
That is it. The self-destruction part. That is it. That is totally it. I was this kind of off subject, but on subject a little bit as far as the system is concerned. I have this book. This book is so good. I bought it twice. The first time I had it was like probably like the early 2000s. And
hmm
then I ended up coming across it again. I got it from this library, Goodwill bookstore. If anybody ever been to College of Tallahassee, shout out to Detail if he out there listening. But it's a used Goodwill bookstore. That used to be my favorite place when I lived in Tallahassee. And I ended up
hmm
finding this book called A Black Encyclopedia. I'm trying to find it now. I don't see it. I just had it. But I was looking at like businesses and things of that nature, and there were some pretty wealthy melanated businesses. There were grocery stores, there were car dealerships, and this was like in the early it was at a time that I wouldn't think something like that would happen. I
Mm-hmm.
cannot find that book. But if we get our bearings, like think of all of us producing on that level. Something else I looked up recently, and y'all permit, I might do an episode on it. Forbes, I didn't know, has a live billionaire list. Did I tell you about that?
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yes. They have a live billionaire list. You can go and look at, and this is not just the United States, this is the entire world. They have a live billionaire list. You can see who made what, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what got me about that list? Us Negroes, we be hyped up by Oprah, Tyler Perry, people like that.
Right.
Oprah is like number 2,000 and something on that list. The first Black person or melanated individual on that list is like number 14. And I can't remember where I think he might be born in the United States. I can't remember. Like I said, y'all permit, I might do a show on it. But it's just, for me, I say those things to say the way they were able to up us is by mental constraint.
Right.
Like
Definitely agree.
reality is what you see. And I also watched a show recently on, I can't remember what the name of the show was, but basically it went through like the 90s. And it was interesting to me because that was my childhood. So it was interesting to look back at it and see it and be able to see it with the understanding that I have now.
Right. You definitely see
And
with different eyes now being older.
yes, you see a lot of things different.
Mm-hmm.
And what I found, and I think I talked about this in an earlier show, where I came to the conclusion of the destruction of the world or the beginning of the end was the creation of television and the internet. I think those two things help to expedite the corruption of people. Because at your fingertips, you have absolutely every and anything that you can think of to sway you any way that you want to go. And the extra time bomb of it is now it's in the hands of children.
Right.
So
Unsupervised children at that.
yes. And I remember telling you before too, like they call it like at what point you realize they call it programming. Like it's not we look at it as entertainment, which I don't know off top of head what the definition for entertainment is. Let's see if I can find it. But entertainment, I'm sure, is something a whole lot different than programming.
Did we look that? I want to say we did look that up before. Oh no, that was amusement. We never actually looked up entertainment before.
Well, it's the same difference. It's the action of providing or being provided with amusement or enjoyment.
Yeah. So basically, it was like really a distraction from your reality of what's going on around you. So
Yeah.
they're there to program you. I know we talked about this a while back. And I'll let you get back on that topic. But yeah, TV. It can be used for some good educational purposes, but a lot, like you say, for the most part, it is really just used for programming. They had used this one guy. They actually they made this to a science where they called a guy in. I can't remember where he's from. Edward Bernays. They brought him in, set him like in a New York high rise, and they just let him watch people and kind of see their actions from day to day. Huh?
When that Freud?
Freud might have did it too, but no, it was Freud's nephew. It was his nephew.
Oh, okay.
That's what. Yeah. So they called him in, and he watched people's actions, studied them, and he was one who used television to kind of a fun fact. Bacon was something that was undesirable to just to American people. But he said, okay, and I think they were wasting money on that part of the pig. Don't quote me on this story, I'm kind of paraphrasing it, but he ended up using commercials to say, hey, eggs, bacon, and such is a complete breakfast. Eggs, bacon, and this is a complete breakfast. And he pushed it so much that, as you see nowadays, it works. Now people wake up, what do they want? Eggs, bacon, and they don't they don't even know why. And he actually pushed that. If you actually go to like islands like maybe St. Martin or Jamaica, they don't know about this stuff. They'll eat eggs, fruit, something that's like really eggs, bacon, and all that is not. I mean, I know we eat the turkey bacon, but how they kind of feed you here,
Yeah.
the American diet is really not good for you. But how you say that programming is very strong to the point that we do stuff and we don't even know why we do it. But yeah,
It's
check that out, y'all. If y'all ever get a chance, check out
Oh,
Edward
I'm about
Bernays
to
and
put it
Sigmund
into
Freud.
it. I'm about to put that
Yeah.
out there for y'all. Y'all, as somebody called me before was the minister of information. Hey, because I be wanting to know. I want to be able to understand stuff. If I feel some kind of way about something, I need to be able to understand it. So if I know how I feel about it is the right way to feel about it. You
Right.
can't be feeling some kind of way about something you don't know about. So
Yeah,
that's why I
definitely.
do that. But in all of saying that, very interesting, you bring up that point. I looked up the definition for a program. I got to pull it back up. Now, the definition of program is quite a few definitions to go over some of them. But of course, we'll highlight the one that I think is relative to this situation. But the first is set a related measures or activities with a particular long-term aim. The one that I find is interesting is the verb number 1, provide with coded instructions for the automatic performance of a task. Automatic, I find interesting. Cause to
Mhm.
behave in a predetermined way. So, like you said, it's good for educational purposes. I also believe that quote unquote music is good for stuff like that. And the reason it's good is the reason why automatic kind of stuck out to me, because if you look at something for a while, like songs,
Mhm.
like these trash songs that they put on here that promote promiscuity and things of that nature, some of this stuff be super ratchet. Like, I don't know, I seen something before Instagram, somebody's 2 aunties was on there hollering by, I can't remember what it was, but it was horrible. And that's the average of what's on the radio. And I remember in times past songs being trash, and after a while of listening to that song, I find myself singing that song.
Exactly. Right. Yep. They
Because
keep pushing it so much. You be
yes.
like, you start singing, you be like, why am I singing this? I don't even like it.
Exactly. Because
But
it's been programmed in your mind.
yeah,
You've
that's
heard it
it.
so much. So that's why it's, yes, pull up and step. Yes, pull up and step. That is the name of that song. But
What, the one where you
yeah,
said the 2 aunties was talking about?
yes, with the 2
Was
aunties. If you
was
Chelsea, if
that
you
the
can
one they
get
was
it,
singing about? They be hoes too. They be like, is they hoes, but was be hoes too? Is that song or is
I
something
don't
else?
think is that
Okay.
I don't remember all of that. Chelsea is in the chat. I think Chelsea knows the song. But yeah, it's it's crazy. Like, even I'll say this. I don't necessarily know if it was program or curiosity, but popcorn, I am not a fan of popcorn, but I will eat popcorn if you put hot sauce on it.
That is
And
a weird combination.
and I
Hot
got
sauce
that
and
from
popcorn.
Poetic Justice. Janet Jackson has a
Oh,
scene in
Janet
Poetic
Jackson did that.
Justice.
She was in the
Yes.
truck, right?
No, she
What she
was in the
put on?
car. It's a
In the
song
car.
when she was, nope, she's not in the car. I'm sorry if I said that. She's in the living room, I think, if I remember right. It's the scene where Stevie Wonder's song, I Never Dreamed You Leaving Summer, where basically she's like going through the motions about losing her boyfriend or whatever. But
Hmm.
she's sitting down watching TV or whatever or whatnot, and she puts Tabasco sauce on her popcorn. And for me seeing that, now I'm 40, I will in next year. I eat, that's about the only way I eat popcorn is if I put hot sauce on it.
Isn't that
So
crazy though? One scene from a movie has affected, like, this is not nothing negative, of course, but like your
yes, of
whole life,
course.
that one scene.
Yes. And that's what I'm
So
saying. Just the overall effect of that. I said that to say that. Like, I'm 40. That movie came out in, I don't even remember. I think I
like
was a
what,
kid.
early 90s?
I don't know. I'm finna find out. But yeah, that movie, yeah, that movie is it came out in 93. I was 10.
Okay.
I was 10, so
Yep.
I don't know when I saw it, but yeah, I to this day, popcorn, hot sauce. I don't do Tabasco though. I like the vinegary sensations of Texas heat or Louisiana. Like, I can't do the Tabasco. That's too rugged and raw for me. But yeah, television and just overall, and in the direction that the world's going in, like in the promoting of the promiscuity, because like I said, they have the alphabet click, so now it's like sky's the limit. It is
Mm-hmm.
absolutely crazy. It's yeah, it's kind of mind blowing because everything tell you to do the wrong thing. Everything.
Speak
It's like the movie they live.
speak. I just want to interject real quick. Because you were talking about how people will look at TVs or commercials or movies and kind of have an idea or portrayal like of reality. So I was talking
Mm-hmm.
to one of our crew last week. And this is kind of off topic but on topic at the same time about how white women how to gravitate to black women or why they will like them. But this was overseas. This was we were in Europe, and
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to tell her that their I guess their visual or how they see black men is just when BET was popular, the Basement, MTV.
Yes.
So their vision of black men was just big chains, fitted hats, baggy clothes. Of course,
Yes.
this is back early 2000s. So they would come to the club, right? Like I guess they thought that's what we like because that's what they seen on BT. So you see these white women in the club, like fitted hats on, gold chains, and we
Wait,
like.
what?
Listen, it was the weirdest thing, but it's kind of like we I guess we kind of thought it. I don't know. I guess we thought it was cool because we thought they was trying to be down or whatever. It wasn't that they was looking masculine with it, but I don't know. They thought that's
It
what
was
black
like
men
the
like.
Aaliyah type thing.
Exactly, right. So I don't know what videos they were watching. Like maybe they watched some Aaliyah or whoever, whatever other female artist was back then. But it's just so how powerful that media is that they see that black men coming from overseas or from America to overseas coming to the club. Oh, this is what they might like. We trying to attract them. So they went so far to do that. So I just say just how I say that to say how programming is just strong. Like they never talk to a black man to see what he like. They just assume off of what they seen and roll with it. And I guess we
And
never said anything. We like, oh nah, we don't like that. So they just kept doing it.
yeah. And but
So
then like really what access do you have to those people other than that? Like
that
I saw
that's really it.
yeah, I saw a YouTube video about Africans, like
Hmm.
natural or however you want to say it, people from Africa versus uh melanated folks born here in the United States and their
Hmm.
perceptions of one another. And that's what they were saying. They was like they saw us in a completely different way until they came over here and then like really saw us.
Right.
Like they thought that basically like all the negative stereotypes of us. They thought that um and some of them felt like we kind of was complaining and whining and whatever, and then they got to see close up and was like, oh, this what y'all talking about type
Mm.
situation. But
Yeah.
I found it very interesting that um they didn't have the same scar of slavery we did. They had different situations that happened in their countries from different wars and things of that nature, but I guess they weren't as affected by quote unquote racism as we were. Like that's something I considered recently. Like when you speak, I don't know about people on a world scale because I don't think I talked to nobody from other countries that like I had a relationship with or whatever to be able to talk to them in depth.
Hmm.
But um I don't see race like being a big thing to anybody other than like the United States, if that makes sense.
Right. No, I'm with you on that.
Like even though oppression is wide stretched around the world, the palm of it, I guess I would say, is the United States. That's where the heaviest pressure is. Because in other countries, from what I've perceived on this destructive television and internet, what I perceive from what I see there and the information I have access to, although it's outstretched, there's still more, it seems to be more flexibility for melanated people in other countries, even though they still have to deal with racism. Does that make sense?
No, it definitely makes sense. And let me just say this too. Of course, I haven't lived in these countries for a long time, but I got to see Afghanistan, Korea, and Germany. And just being I distinctly remember Afghanistan. You know how they always will try to tell you, oh, those are the terrorists, the enemy, whatever they call them, Hajis and all that. But the funny thing, like they really like love, especially like melanated guys over there. Like we'll come over there and they'll be like they try to speak in our language, like, "Hey, what's up, dog?" Like, can they try to get some food from us because we had snacks and we like guarding the perimeter or something. Like, "Hey,
Mm,
dog, can I get some chips or something?" Like it's like you would think like how America portrays it, like, oh no, nobody likes blacks and this and that. But you go to other countries, and of course, I know there's probably I know there's racism in every
yeah,
part,
yeah.
but how
But
they
it's not
portray it,
obvious.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
it's not like
like,
yeah,
yeah, from what I've seen, it's not pressing. Like I saw a video of this lady. She was walking through Japan, maybe.
mm,
And I've heard of people going to those countries and black melanated individuals, quote unquote black people, um, they act like we celebrities over there.
yeah, right, because it's not something they see every day. So I think I
Yeah.
might have seen that when she walking through, and they wanted to take pictures with her and kind of different, so
Yeah.
everybody will stop and look. I think I
Yeah.
seen that. Yeah, I seen
Yeah.
it.
So
Yeah,
yeah, although
definitely
I
different.
definitely believe that oppression is the hand of it is definitely around the world. The palm of it is definitely United States. We are the most affected by that, and I think that um it hold us back. They did a great job in messing with our head, and to think about it to the point of realizing it affects you genetically. Like they
Hmm.
passing down bundles of cash and all types of advantages that they've set up for themselves, and all we, for the most part, seem to have is the negative effect of it. That's crazy.
Right. Yeah, it definitely very crazy.
Yeah,
But
that is crazy.
this generation here, you're calling that we looking to change it for our
Um,
future generation because definitely don't want another generation coming up how we did and our forefathers.
no,
So,
I think we might have a good bunch, but something I've considered in considering that in times past are documentaries that I've seen that everyone's your call or hope is the generation behind them.
hmm,
So yeah, you call that be what it needs to be. But yeah, we can do better. We can do better. But it has been real. I appreciate you. You got a treat for us and later, huh?
oh yeah, definitely, I definitely have a treat for y'all. And once y'all see this, we're looking to roll out with this treat a little bit more often. So y'all keep your ears open and your eyes peeled for it.
That is. But in the meantime, between time, I can't preach. But the bottom of my lob, so excuse me if I hiccup.
No,
The
good.
sum of it all, the world is just absolutely crazy. I can't really think of any words to describe the world right now other than crazy, maybe stressful. But in everything that's promoted, the promiscuity and all of that, I am very thankful to Yahuwah that I have been allowed an opportunity to know better, to do better. So, with that, I think that everyone else's best bet is to just return to Elohim.
Outside they say I'm psycho, ready to blow like nitro, but I ain't really crazy, just sick of this life of my fault. Please tell me
And
what I need to
now
do. I'm tired of seeing
it's
people
time
cats mentality.
for Samar. Tonight we have special guest Jay Rich. He'll be
In the
revealing,
building.
ladies and fellas. Take it away, Rich.
All right, so before I start this, I'm just going to have one request of you, Miss Wisdom Simone. Can you hit the part where it says "sing my song" in between, and after that, I'm gonna go ahead and take it away.
Where it
So you know what I'm talking
says,
about. So when I say to all my ladies in the place and their head wrapped straight,
go ahead and
you gonna
sing
say
this song. Oh,
yeah,
you want
right?
me to say that?
Yeah, I just wanted to, yeah, I want you to sing
Okay,
that
we
part from
get
there.
saucy.
After that,
Okay.
I'll take it away. Yeah, we gonna get saucy with it.
All
All right, so
right,
we
we
just
gonna get
all
saucy. Go ahead.
right, let's try it. To all my ladies in the place. and they head wrapped straight.
Go ahead and sing this song.
To all my fellas in the place, no clean cut face.
Go ahead and sing this song.
To all my ladies that are pressed and they modestly dress.
Go ahead and sing this song.
To all my fellas who ain't stressed and they push past the flesh.
Go ahead and sing this song.
Now, ladies, ain't no babies until you get married. So close your legs, please. 'Cause these guys will kiss and tell. And ain't no fish for sale unless he take you to Bay Breeze. Baby girl, your body ain't for other guys. It was made to be seen by your husband's eyes. Long skirts on them legs and covered thighs. Don't make them go and ask, do that shake come with fries? And to my fellas, don't compromise. I know you want to spread your wings and you gotta fly. Just know that if you living that you gotta die. And one day that dead body, man, it gotta rise. Bottom line is quit playing. The scripture, it ain't outdated. You got the choice to hit the town wasted, outdating. You holding out to the world, it's outrageous. But Mr. Yahuwah will count it as salvation.
Salah. Yeah, that's tight. I like that.
I appreciate
it. Yes, I appreciate you. Yes, and now, what's the treat we got?
Oh yeah, go ahead and roll out that treat that we're gonna get him with that. Are you just gonna roll it out? You want me to introduce it to him before you roll it out?
Let's see. Well, you can introduce it to him. Go ahead and introduce the rollout.
So, ladies and gentlemen, y'all caught that there? All right, moving on. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Behind the Bar, a new show that we're going to start premiering. Don't quote us on this yet. Maybe once a week, every 2 weeks. We'll see how it goes. Where we dive in with your favorite artists. They're going to give us a breakdown of one of their verses. And as we go along, if y'all like it, I want y'all to start commenting, tagging, saying, hey, I want to hear such and such verse. I want to hear B Breezy break down his verse. What did he mean in this? Can he come break it down? Can Big Lee come break it down? But without further ado, I'll let y'all go ahead and roll into the first episode. If y'all like it, make sure y'all leave them comments and let us know who y'all want to hear next.
And there it is, folks.
This
is your Cool Wisdom Simone. Thank you again for your listening ear. And this has been my Candid Wisdom.
We out. First 4 bars.
The whole theme behind the song was about prospering, kind of when my verse comes in effect.
Yahudi gang till death. It's a movement.
Yo, this Jay Rich, ZMR Radio, Behind the Bar. We talk about your favorite artist lines, they songs. We're gonna break down hooks, verses, and everything. So let's get into it. Today's guest on Behind the Bar, we got AC. We're gonna be breaking down his verse on Make Clear. So let's get into it.
Praise ya, bro. Top speed tire tracks, boy, I'm not there. I'm not. Run up in that studio like I'm here. Lay it down, nigga, this ain't for the unskilled. We that light of the world, so we make clear.
If you can start with like your first 4 bars.
The whole theme behind the song was about prospering, kind kind of where my verse comes in effect with it. First, start off with I pull to the guard, whipping the bins, hither the bar, work for my friends, go for the yoon, commit no sin, Layla fall, I do it again. So when I first started talking about the Benz, I got a Mercedes Benz at the time, and you know, see, I didn't want that to have the effect of prospering. So that's why I came with that portion up there. So you know, well, coming to the guard, whipping the Benz, hitting the ball, work with my friends. You know what I'm saying? From the people that all I him, that's who I'm with. You know what I'm saying? We all friends. We hit the same bar. Go for the humans, commit no sin. That's our basic on everything we do. Then Layla fall, we do it again. So we take it one day at a time.
Go into your next 4 ball. What you have said after that?
So after that, I said, so after Layla fall, I do it again, and I do it again. I'm on my job, walking the booth like it is a car. With the ball, we killing your guys. Living Tamim, y'all full of them flaws. So I'm letting everybody know, like when Layla fall, I do it again, and I do it again. So I said, I repeat this every day. Layla fall, I do it again. I'm on my job. I walk in the booth. You know, I look at this as my vocation. You know what I'm saying? This is the work I do for Mr. Yahuwah. This is my ministry. I'm on my job. I walk in the booth like it is a car. Everybody knows that's the kind of bar I put in there. Shout out to Big Lee. I kind of
shout out Big Lee.
I kind of reverb something he said with that right there, but I put it in my own way. So you know, I walk in the booth like it is a car. Everybody know during the time of Sakar, which is I believe the Feast of Booths. So we got a dwelling booth. So I feel like that was a pretty good bar. So I walk in the booth like it is a car. With the bar, we killing your God, because you know we got the truth. And all these other guys are just idols. They're fake. So with walking the booth like it is a car. With the ball, we killing your guys. Living Tamim, we living perfect. We living complete. And they full of flaws.
You know, you just put me on game. This is not even for the show. I did not know you were saying walking the booth like it is a car. I kept trying to think what you were saying. I was like, I kept meaning to ask him, but it kept slipping my mind. So you actually broke that down to me though. So actually, that was a nice bar right there. I like that. I like that.
I kind of spit kind of fast on that. That's
right.
Yeah. So I know people probably didn't catch hardly anything.
So I learned something too. All right, so what you say after that? What's your next 4?
So spitting some bars doesn't impress me. Walking all right is with a respect me. Getting salvation, making that money, having some fun like I'm riding a jet ski. So and I forgot where I was at. So, because I think a lot of people, a lot of times, we focus too much on lyrics, and it's not about lyrics. Spitting some bars doesn't impress. It's about walking all right. That's the purpose of our writing. What impressed me ain't just the bars you spit, because a lot of people can come up with nice hooks. Shoot, some of the people in the world come up with better hooks than we got.
That's true.
And I'd be like, this is amazing how they come up with that. I can't compete, but spitting on bar, it doesn't impress me. I want to see how you living. And that's what respect be. Then you can be looking at, after we get that, one thing that I always teach us, first salvation. Then we gonna get that money. Then we gonna have some fun, like I'm riding a jet ski.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Because they got to ride the jet ski when they're down.
St. Martin. That's what I thought about too. They have fun over there in St. Martin.
Fun. They own the jet ski. You know what I'm saying? They come back with the wheel. I'm sitting back at home like, I really want to do it.
Yes, sir.
Sin a man don't press me. Getting checked if you test me. Get hit with a stick and put them on ice. I'm feeling like Wayne Gretzky. So like, sin a man don't press me. Like say, you know how sinners be. Sin a man don't press me. Like you know, say, stay back, stay off me. Sin a man don't press me. You gonna get checked if you test me. Everybody know you get checked. It's called checking in hockey. Get checked if you test me. Get hit with a stick, because you know what I'm saying, we got guns, you know what I'm saying, get hit with a stick, put them on ice. When you kill somebody, we not promoting violence, but
just come down to that.
It come down to we gotta protect ourselves. Put them on ice, get hit with a stick and put them on ice. I'm feeling like Wayne Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky is considered one of the best hockey players ever. So that's where that bar came from.
Now, did you get help with that line from Jay Rich about the ice and the stick?
No, I didn't. That actually just came up, but it was when I go back to it. It's funny. It might have came from Jay Rich a little bit, because he did do that hockey line. I was like, that was a tough hockey line.
I appreciate it. Give me my flowers while I'm here. That's all I'm at.
And I'm gonna get you die too, so I'm gonna kill you in the next verse.
All right, so what you spit after the Wayne Gretzky line? All right.
Our great one is the standard. Yahushua ain't average. Double less on my chest. Whole squad is savage. So the nickname for Wayne Gretzky was the great one.
I know, okay.
Yeah. So, but I consider Yahushua, he's our great one. That's why I say our great one, and he's the standard. Now make sure I name him, because I don't want people to be thinking about Wayne Gretzky. Yahushua ain't average. Double less on my chest. Whole squad is savage. it's our little fun thing here at the synagogue.
Yeah.
But me, Leon, and my wife Chelsea, we the original members of the Savage Squad.
Right.
And they, you know what I'm saying. So we always say some stuff that's gonna be off the wall. People are like, why would they say something crazy like that?
Right.
We Savage Squad, but I said with less on our chest. For my whole squad, I'm talking about the whole synagogue.
Right.
The whole squad is savage.
Got you.
Yeah.
But what you say that today?
To the way, double less on my chest. Whole squad is savage. Yeah, to the law we did damage. Lift them up like a banner. Still committing kata. Send us nuts like planners. So I'm looking at, you know what I'm saying, to the law we know, not only did we break the law, but we know we look at Yahushua is the law.
Right.
So to the law we did damage. Lift them up like a banner. So we lifting them up on the two. And like I said, you still committing kata, then you nuts like, they sinners are nuts like planners. They're crazy.
Right. How'd you end off that make clear?
So I was like, that's what I said. Now I kind of changed the flow up on that part. We did our or, making it clear. With the Dabar, you gotta be skilled. With the Dabar, you gotta be skilled.
Then you say
for the Zabak, which is Zabak means sacrifice.
Right.
He footed the bill. Don't care what you think, we keeping it real. Then, you know what I'm saying? So like look at the Zabak, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta be skilled with the Dabar.
Right.
And for our sacrifice that we need to be saved, Yahushua footed the bill.
Right.
And I don't care what people think, I'm keeping it real.
Right.
Then I can't, Yehudi gang be the best. Yehudi gang be the best. Real know my speech. Rest and take they rest, nigga. So, but the reason why I said that real know my speech, people, the thing is, if people didn't catch it, then technically I'm saying they're not real. But some stuff people just don't get at the time. That's why we're doing breaking down bars. But I said what you call it twice. Yehudi gang be the best. Yehudi gang be the best.
Is a book behind that?
It's established at the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses.
That's it.
Real know my speech. So the real gonna understand, he established that thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The real know my speech. You know what I'm saying? And then the end of it. It's your boy AC, you know what I'm saying? You can check me out at my social media sites. It should be coming across the screen for you. And a shout out to Mag too for making me for putting me on Made Clear. That's technically his song, but he allowed me to feature, allowed me to kill it for y'all. So man, I appreciate all my fans, appreciate the support.
Right.
Yo, shout out to ZMR Radio. You know what I'm saying? This is gonna be posted on their YouTube channel. We out of here.
To all my ladies in the place and they head rap straight. Yeah. Go ahead and sing this song. To all my fellas in the place, no clean cut face. Yeah. Go ahead and sing this song. To all my ladies that are pressed and they modestly dress. Go ahead and sing this song. To all my fellas who ain't stressing, they push past the flesh. Yeah. Go ahead and sing this song.
My Akuth ain't no ho-ho-hos for the show, but tis the season. The Yahudim living clean for a reason. Yahushua coming back to revenge those that grieved him. They got him put on the tooth and left him bleed him. He was sent to give sight to the blind. So what you seeing? Prescription to the lens on my eyes, worth the eating. I'm making reservation to join them when I'm leaving. That's why I'm locked in at the guard every single weekend.
I love it when they call me Big Cook
and give me love, but I intend to get kaboo from the one above. Hooked on your hoop, my addiction stronger than the drug. Living Q'dash a clean way, it's time to hit the tub. It ain't enough to hit the tub, you better jump in. You gon' hear what's coming, the waiters are rubber bumping. Take the devil off of my back, look like I'm crumping, about to pass it back. UJ Rich, yo, tell him something.
To all my ladies in the place and they head rap straight. Yeah. Go ahead and sing this song. To all my fellas in the place, no clean cut face. Yeah. Go ahead and sing this song. To all my ladies that are pressed and they modestly dress. Go ahead and sing this song. To all my fellas who ain't stressing, they push past the flesh. Yeah. Go ahead and sing this song. Ladies, ain't no babies until you get married, so close your legs, please. Cause these guys will kiss and tell, and ain't no fish for sale unless he take you to Bay Breeze. Baby girl, your body ain't for other guys. It was made to be seen by your husband's eyes. Long skirts on them legs and covered thighs. Don't make them go and ask, do that shake come with fries. And to my fellas, don't compromise. I know you wanna spread your wings and you gotta fly. Just know that if you living that you gotta die. And one day that dead body, man, it gotta rise. Bottom line is quit playing, the scripture ain't outdated. You got the choice, hit the town, wasted outdating. You holding out to the world is outrageous, but Mr. Yahuwah counted as salvation. To all my ladies in the place and they head rap straight. Yeah. Go ahead and sing this song. To all my fellas in the place, no clean cut face. Yeah. Go ahead and sing this song. To all my ladies that are pressed and they modestly dress. Go ahead and sing this song. To all all my feelings who ain't stressing, they push past the flesh. Go ahead and sing this song.
To the best radio station on the planet.
ZMR Radio.
The #1 internet radio station.
I'm at work right now and I'm listening to it.
#1.
I wake up with you guys, I send my dare to you guys, and I go to bed with you guys. You guys are the best.
The #1 internet radio station.
ZMR Radio.